Okay, cool. And so you'll still sign or so, yeah.
I'll interpret what you guys are doing, and
Okay,
see how it goes.
cool. Mother, may I sit on the sofa beside you?
Yes, do, my dear boy.
There is something I must tell you, Mother.
Well,
For I can't go on hiding it any longer.
hiding what? What is it?
I could never bring myself to write to you about it, and since I've come home,
Oswald, what is the matter?
both yesterday and today, I have tried to put thoughts away from me, to cast them off, but it's no use.
Now you must tell me everything, Oswald.
Sit still, and then I will try to tell you. I complained of a fatigue after my journey,
Well, what then?
but it wasn't that. That is the matter with me, not any ordinary fatigue.
You are not ill, Oswald?
Sit still, Mother. Do take it quietly. I'm not downright ill, either. Not what is commonly called ill. Mother, my mind is broken down, ruined. I shall never be able to work again.
Oswald, look at me. No, it's not true.
Never be able to work again. I'm sorry. Never, never. A living death. Mother, can you imagine anything so horrible?
My poor boy, how has this horrible thing come upon you?
That's just what I cannot possibly grasp or understand. I have never led a dissipated life. Never in any respect. You mustn't believe that of me, Mother. I've never done that.
I'm sure you haven't, Oswald.
And yet this has come upon me just the same, this awful misfortune.
Oh, but it will pass over, my dear blessed boy. It's nothing but overwork. Trust me, I am right.
I thought so too at first, but it isn't so.
Tell me everything, from beginning to end.
Yes, I will.
When did you first notice it?
Well, it was directly after I had been home last time and had got back to Paris again. I began to feel the most violent pain in my head, chiefly in the back of my head. They seemed to come. It was as though a tight iron ring was being screwed around my neck and upwards.
Well, and then?
At first, I thought it was nothing but the ordinary headache I had been so plagued with while I was growing up.
Yes.
But it wasn't that. I soon found that out. I couldn't work anymore. I wanted to begin I wanted to begin upon a big new picture, but my powers seemed to fail me. All my strength was crippled. I could form no definite images. Everything swam before me, whirling round and round. Oh, it was an awful state. At last I sent for a doctor, and from him I learned the truth.
How do you mean?
He was one of the first doctors in Paris. I told him my symptoms, and then he set to work asking me a string of questions, which I thought had nothing to do with the matter. I couldn't imagine what the man was after.
Well?
At last, he said, there has been something worm-eaten in you from birth. He used that very word, vermolu.
What did he mean by that?
I didn't understand either, and begged him to explain himself more clearly. And then the old cynic said, "Ah!"
What did he say?
He said, the sins of the father are visited upon the children.
The sins of the fathers.
I very nearly struck him in the face.
The sins of the fathers.
Yes, what do you think of that? Of course, I assured him that such a thing was out of the question, but do you think he gave in? No, he stuck to it, and it was only when I produced your letters and translated the passages related to father.
But then?
Well, then of course he had to admit that he was on the wrong track, and so I learned the truth. The incomprehensible truth. I thought not to have taken part with my comrades in that light-hearted, glorious life of theirs. It had been too much for my strength, so I had brought it upon myself.
Oswald, No, no, do not believe it.
No other explanation was possible, he said. That's the awful part about it. Incurably ruined for life by my own heedlessness. All that I meant to have done in the world, I never dare think of it again. I'm not able to think of it. Oh, if I could only live over again and undo all that I have done. If it had only been something inherited, something one wasn't responsible for, but this, to have thrown away so shamefully, thoughtlessly, recklessly, one's own happiness, one's own health, everything in the world, one's true own's very life.
No, no, my dear darling boy, this is impossible. Things are not so desperate as you think.
Oh, you don't know. And then, mother, to cause you all this sorrow, many a time I have almost wished and hoped that at bottom you didn't care so very much about me.
Oswald, my only boy, you are all I have in this world, the only thing I care about.
Yes, yes, I see it. When I'm at home, I see it, of course, and that's almost the hardest part for me. But now you know the whole story, and now we won't talk any more about it today. I daren't think for it long together. Yeah, together. Sorry. Get me something to drink, mother.
To drink? What do you want to drink now?
Oh, anything you like. You have some old punch in the house.
Yes, but my dear Oswald.
Don't refuse me, mother. Don't be kind now. I must have something to wash down all these gnawing thoughts. And then it's so dark here. And this ceaseless rain, it may go on week after week for months together, never to get a glimpse of the sun. I can't recollect ever having seen the sunshine all the times I've been home.
Oswald, you are thinking of going away from me.
I'm not thinking of anything. I cannot think of anything. I let thinking alone.
Did you, ma'am?
Yes, let us have the lamp in.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. It's ready lighted.
Oswald, be frank with me.
Well, so I am, mother. I think I have told you enough.
Regina, you may bring us a small bottle of champagne.
Very well, ma'am.
Ah, that's just what I wanted. I knew mother wouldn't let her boy go thirsty.
My own poor darling Oswald, how could I deny you anything now?
Is that true, mother? Do you mean it?
How? What?
That you couldn't deny me anything?
My dear Oswald.
Shh, shh.
Shall I open it?
No, thanks. I will do it myself.
What was it you meant that I mustn't deny you?
First, let's have a glass, or two.
Thanks, not for me.
Oh, won't you? Then I will.
Well?
Tell me, I thought you, Pastor Manders, seemed so odd, so quiet at dinner today.
Did you notice it?
Yes. Tell me, what do you think of Regina?
What do I think?
Yes. Isn't she splendid?
My dear Oswald, you don't know her as I do.
Well,
Regina, unfortunately, was allowed to stay at home too long. I ought to have taken her earlier into my house.
yes, but isn't she splendid to look at, mother?
Regina has many serious faults,
What does that matter?
but I am fond of her nevertheless, and I am responsible for her. I wouldn't for all the world have any harm happen to her.
Mother, Regina is my salvation.
What do you mean by that?
I cannot go on bearing all this anguish of soul alone.
Have you not your mother to share it with you?
Yes, that's what I thought too. And so I came home to you, but that will not do. I see it won't do. I cannot endure my life here.
Oswald!
I must live differently, mother. That is why I must leave you. I will not have you looking on at it.
My unhappy boy. But Oswald, while you were so ill as this...
If it were only the illness, I should stay with you, mother. You may be sure, for you are the best friend I have in the world.
Yes, indeed I am, Oswald, am I not?
But it's all the torment, the gnawing remorse, and then the great killing dread. Oh, that awful dread.
Dread? What dread? What do you mean?
Oh, you mustn't ask me any more. I don't know. I can't describe it. What is it you want?
I want my boy to be happy. That is what I want. He shan't go on brooding over things. More champagne. A large bottle.
Mother,
Do you think we don't know how to live here at home?
isn't she splendid to look at? How beautiful she's built and so thoroughly healthy.
Sit down, Oswald. Let us talk quietly together.
I dare say you don't know, mother, that I owe Regina some reparation.
You?
For a bit of thoughtlessness, or whatever you like to call it, very innocent at any rate, when I was home last time.
Well?
Well, she often to ask me about Paris, and I used to tell her one thing and another. Then I recollect I happened to say to her one day, shouldn't you like to go there yourself?
Well?
Well, I saw her face flush, and then she said, yes, I should like it of all things. Ah, well, I replied, it might perhaps be managed, or something like that.
And then?
Of course, I had forgotten all about it, but the day before yesterday, I happened to ask her whether she was glad I was staying at home so long.
Yes?
And then she gave me such a strange look and asked, but what's to become of my trip to Paris?
Her trip?
And so it came out that she had taken the thing seriously, that she had been thinking of me the whole time and had set to work to learn French.
That was why...
Mother, when I saw that fresh, lovely, splendid girl standing there before me, till then I had hardly noticed her. But when she stood there, as though with open arms ready to receive me,
Oswald!
then it flashed upon me that in her lay my salvation, for I saw that she was full of the joy of life.
The joy of life? Can there be salvation in that?
It might have been so long, but I had to go to the cellar.
And now bring another glass.
There is Mrs. Alving's glass, Mr. Alving.
Yes, but bring yourself one, Regina. Why do you wait?
Is it Miss Alving's wish?
Bring the glass, Regina.
Have you noticed how she walks? So firmly and lightly?
This can never be, Oswald.
It's a settled thing. Can't you see that? It's no use saying anything against it. Sit down, Regina.
Sit down. Oswald, what were you saying about the joy of life?
Ah, the joy of life, mother. That's a thing you don't know much about in these parts. I've never felt it here.
Not when you are with me?
Not when I'm at home, but you don't understand that.
Yes, I think I almost understand it now.
And then too, the joy of work. At bottom, it's the same thing, but that too, you know nothing about.
Perhaps you are right. Tell me more about it, Oswald.
I only mean that here people are brought up to believe that work is a curse and a punishment for sin, and that life is something miserable, something it would be best to have done with the sooner the better.
A veil of tears, yes, and we certainly do our best to make it one.
But in the great world, people won't hear of such things. There, nobody really believes such doctrines any longer. There, you feel it a positive bliss and ecstasy merely to draw the breath of life. Mother, have you noticed that everything I've painted has turned upon the joy of life? Always. Always upon the joy of life. light and sunshine and glorious air and faces radiant with happiness. That is why I am afraid of remaining at home with you.
Afraid? What are you afraid of here with me?
I'm afraid lest all my instincts should be warped into ugliness.
Do you think that is what would happen?
I know it. You may live the same life as there, and yet it won't be the same life.
Now I see the sequence of things.
What is it you see?
I see it now for the first time, and now I can speak.
Mother, I don't understand you.
Perhaps I'm out to go.
No, stay here. Now I can speak. Now, my boy, you shall know the whole truth, and then you can choose. Oswald, Regina.
Hush, the pastor. Is she back?
I've been messaging her in the group chat, and she's been having some issues, like her video won't show up and it keeps kicking her off. So she said to tell the interpreters thank you, and that she'd see us on Monday. And if you have any like questions or notes, you can tell her on the group chat. But
Okay. Awesome. Thank you, interpreters. I was wondering, over the weekend, if you two want to practice, feel free to message me. I feel like I may be the one that's worrying the most about my lines because there's so many.
Yeah.
I'm already like, how am I going to do this? But that's okay. If I need help, I'll reach out to you guys as well. But just in case you guys are like practicing and you're like, hey, this would be easier if Oswald was here or whatever, just message in that group. Do we have a group? We do, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. And then just let me know, because I'm sure I would be happy to help, because it would probably help me more than it would you.
All right, sounds good. Okay, I'm sorry. I have to get going. I have a wedding reception I gotta get to in an hour.
See ya, Hannah.
You guys.
See ya, Aspen.
Bye.
thank you guys.
Thank you, Katie and Steven.